The dead don't rest, the shadows creep, and the world feels one heartbeat away from collapse. Unless you got a shotgun, a set of rules, and maybe a Twinkie. Because in Zombieland, it is an endless scavenger hunt, blood, chaos, and laughter all the way down the highway. So grab your spray paint, put that big 3 on your ride, and roll out with us, retro watch style, as Zombie Month takes another bite. This is the Winter Wolf's Den.
All right, we've got one more entry in Winter Wolf's Den Zombie Month. I'm Winter Wolf, your host, and co-hosting, of course, is King Z. And we're going to bang out Zombieland because we figured, after much discussion, we should really vary up the tone of what Zombie Month should be. We didn't want to give you every bleak entry on the list because God only knows most of it is like bleak dystopian horror, especially the moderns, like the current day zombie stuff. So we threw it back about 15 years. I think Zombieland was 2009, if I remember right. And I think this is an important pick, not just because we're trying to change the pace up, but because of when it came out in real life. You know, it's a couple of years after The Walking Dead and after 28 Days Later was mega successful. And it really showed that there's other things you can do with it. You know, Shaun of the Dead wasn't just one, you know, a silver bullet, a shot in the dark of horror comedy with zombies. Like, no, Zombieland did it 5 years after they did. You know, so it proves some versatility within the subgenre. So I wanted to take a look at this one. I'm glad. I think this was your pick, actually.
Yeah,
this was a you pick.
and now this was based off of a Matt Brooks book, Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse, and it came out a few years, I think, a few years before World War Z did. So it was around that time.
Oh, yeah, they definitely, the whole get up with the rules is 100% inspired by the other Brooks book, Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse. That was a fun book. It was a good read, by the way. Funny and educational. But I think this is another one of these great movies that I'm always down to watch. Like if I go hang out somewhere, somebody's got it on, I'm in. If I'm bored at home and it's on, I'm in, because it's so much fun. And they take only the right parts of it seriously. And then everything is up for comedy grabs. Like literally every other thing they do has comedy built into it, whether it's some of the physical comedy, when you've got Jesse Eisenberg acting against Woody Harrelson. Their physical comedy each is very different. You know, Woody Harrelson's doing the alpha male macho thing, smashing shit every 5 seconds, and Jesse Eisenberg's limbering up before they go down to check the hostess truck. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good humor in there, and then it's all, of course, counterbalanced by Emma Stone not only being devastatingly gorgeous, but like she's got a lot of dry humor that she does, while with the $1 million smile the entire time. So good on her. I forgot exactly how attractive she was in 09. Good God.
Yeah, I think she should go with the black eyeliner a little bit more.
Oh yeah, Winter Wolf like. That was a very, very good look on her. The opening, because we had talked earlier when we did Dawn of the Dead, and we kind of glazed the intro to that, like the one big one take, and oh my God, the whole world is set up so quick, and like, what do we do? This movie has that, but it's hilarious and set to like a Metallica soundtrack.
Yeah,
like it's got For Whom the Bell Tolls rocking in the background as we get into these vignettes of like the world falling apart with like a zombie bride attacking her husband into like a pool, you know, cut into slow motion as like their blood splattering everywhere. It's crazy. And I'm like, okay, cut credits. This is it. That was the movie. I'm good. That's all. It was World War Z, but in like 9 minutes. That's it. I like the end. I knew it. I remember saying that back in the day too. Like when I was at this movie with a friend back when. And I was like, this is going to be fucking wild. Buckle up.
Going into this movie, the first time, I didn't know what to expect. Of course, we saw the trailers. I knew it was going to be a comedy, but I wasn't really sold on Jesse Eisenberg, because I think the only thing I really ever saw him in before that was The Social Network.
That was after that.
That was after that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I don't think I really knew who Jesse Eisenberg was, but the way he portrays his character, like this anxious guy with IBS, and the way he sets his rule to survive, he's like, I'm the most unlikely survivor ever, but here I am. And I think the comedy really hits. It does have a lot of touching moments where you can see the serious side of it, which all comedies should have. It shouldn't just be straight slapstick. It just doesn't work. You got to have a reason for the comedy and not be ashamed of the laughs. So I think this one works out quite well. Of course, it has the very tippy top of the A list in it, which is one of my favorite parts in it. So let's dive into Zombieland here.
Yeah, we're definitely going to dive in because I got a lot of great stuff that I want to talk about there. We could talk about pacing and how basically and I kept a log on this one actually. A pivotal bit of exposition, comedy, or action literally happens every 8 minutes. From the time we meet Eisenberg and he gives you the first rule to the time he meets Woody Harrelson to the time they meet the girls to the time they get scared. Like it's literally every 8.5 minutes that something's going. You can't get bored watching this. You can't. It's impossible not to be engaged with what they're doing because layered into that pacing is the odd couple comedy that Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson bring. Yeah. And even their meeting scene perfectly encapsulates that where Sarah, I was about to call Michael Sarah, Jesse Eisenberg is walking down the highway dragging his little suitcase, which is funny. It's just funny watching him drag a suitcase because you're like, dude, man up, pick up the bag, right? And Woody Harrelson comes barreling in a black Escalade with the Intimidator 3 on the side. They have a tense standoff for 10 seconds, and then Eisenberg throws up the hitchhiker thumb, and Woody Harrelson's like, he's got a sawed-off shotgun pointed at him, and he's like get in the truck, you know, and wordless, no dialogue, and it's just funny. So you buy the vibe of these two being very different, but it's also never played at either of their expenses. You know, Woody Harrelson makes a joke about every now and again about, I'm gonna punch you. I think you earned about 40% strength or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's never mean-spirited. Like he's never trying to talk down to Eisenberg because he is I guess that would have been a millennial in 2009, because he's a bit of a softer, namby-pamby millennial type, and Woody Harrelson's like, you know, pumping testosterone and HGH and shotgunning shit.
I think he had more of social anxiety and shelterism, where it's just easier to be sheltered. Like after being, you know, you did teased and beat up enough, you just kind of just stay home.
For sure. I mean, he's a World of Warcraft gamer. Like that's his intro thing. He's like, 3 Friday nights in a row. His desk has like 4 Domino's boxes on it, like a 12-pack of Code Red.
The leaning tower of pizza boxes.
The leaning tower of pizza boxes. That's right. So they set up that character really well. They give you just enough story on Woody Harrelson's Tallahassee character. You know, he's just on the move, living for my next day. Got nothing holding me back. So they really lay enough into the groundwork of them too to make them really fun to watch and play off each other. I'd kill to know how much of this script was ad-libbed, because I'm betting some of that back and forth couldn't have been written. No shot. It was just too much fun.
It was way too much fun for someone to sit there and actually write every one of those jokes. They even might have went into the script and just banter back and forth and just had them mate it up as they go. Had the director kind of take the reins and kind of.
Yeah, they definitely have the jokes that are definitely set. Like, you know, they went into that with a gimmick for Twinkies. You know what I mean? Like that was going to be like a thing, a recurring gag, you know, and stuff like that. But just some of the off the cuff, especially the retorts, and especially some of the things Emma Stone probably said, because she's notoriously sharp-witted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was definitely opportunity for her to flex on the boys and throw a couple zingers, and I thought it was pretty good. With the banter all around was pretty good there. But you were talking about famous cameos. You want to talk about the famous cameo that the trailers effing ruined, because we were in that part of the 2000s where the trailer literally ruined every cameo and every jump scare in every horror movie for 15 years, starting around 2003. These a-holes, these mother...
They didn't understand the art of cutting a trailer.
Nope, sure didn't. See, they heard trailer and thought it meant Idiot's Guide 2 or Cliff Notes version of, and then put the whole movie into 90 seconds. It ain't that.
No. Trailers today, I would say, is the only thing that really improved dramatically over the ages compared to what it was, like you said, in the 90s and early 2000s. Trailers have gotten a lot better of building hype without spilling the beans.
Yeah, we had to get back to that because, like you said, before that, ad reads is what trailers used to sound like in like the 70s, 80s, 90s. We had movie trailer voice guy in a world where everybody blah blah blah. It was basically just that.
Yeah,
one man rises to the front, like that. It was all that for our kind of movies.
It's so exciting. Get down. Double the excitement. Get down again.
No, this time it's personal. September 5th. Right. Yeah, it was that. Those were trailers.
No holds barred.
I should have done a Hogan voice there. R.I.P. Yeah, dude, tell me about the cameo because you brought it up first. That there's a big one, and Woody Harrelson loved it and made it happen. I watched some of the behind the scenes.
So I believe
it wasn't
the story
planned.
behind it was supposed to be Tom Cruise. Like initially, it was supposed to be Tom Cruise, and that's why they had this the pointing out. Like I thought Tom Cruise would live somewhere nicer, and but they got Bill Murray instead. Now, whoever doesn't know, casting Bill Murray in your movie is not standard movie practice.
Nope.
How you do it usually is you call the agent, you find out his availability, and then you have him come in and do a read. Bill Murray, if you want to have Bill Murray in, he's at this level that he has a 1-800 number. You call, you pitch the movie on his voicemail. If he likes it, he will call you back and say he'll be there. He just needs to know when, where, and how. Yep. And then they're getting ready to shoot this, and they're moving on. And like Woody, I think, was friends with Bill at the time. He's like, don't worry about it. He'll be here. He'll be here. Producers, directors, they're sweating bullets. So they're like, all right, we need to shoot this. We got to move on.
And he's notoriously difficult to work with when you get him. You know what I mean? Like that's just part of the Hollywood, the mystique.
I think that's just director talk. Everyone else just loves him. Like they want Bill Murray around.
I love that they even worked into the girl not knowing that what was the little girl's name? Little Rock.
Yeah, Little Rock.
Abigail Breslin, the youngest member on the cast. They work into her character not knowing who Bill Murray is because she was would have been like -8 years old or whatever when Ghostbusters came out. So she doesn't know who that is. It was just funny. I like it. Good gag. Good meta gag.
So they showed up on set that day just praying, hoping Bill Murray would be there. Not only was Bill Murray there, he was already in makeup, ready to go, waiting on them.
Nice.
Just that's how Bill Murray rolls. If he says he's going to do something, he will be there. So
I love in that same scene. Spoilers if you haven't seen a movie that's 15 years old. He doesn't make it out of the movie, but not because the zombies get him, which is one of the funniest parts. His death scene is hysterical. Like the dying breath goes on so long he has to inhale again. Like it's too funny. And then Little Rock asks him, do you have any regrets? He literally deadpan looks at her and says Garfield.
Maybe Garfield.
That's too funny. It really is.
Because there was a lot of beef between him and Garfield after he did the voice.
Well, if I remember right, the studio absolutely yanked him into having to do the sequel is what it was that he wanted out. And I think they got 2 out of him. 2 sequels out of him, I think. So he made 3 of these god-awful movies.
And now Chris Pratt is the voice of Garfield.
And is having fun doing it because I think he likes being a goof, which works better for him.
Yeah,
Chris Pratt would have been good in Zombieland if they do a 3 or a reboot or years later. I could see Pratt in there somewhere being Woody Harrelson. I could see that. Let's some of the action in this though, because I feel like this doesn't get talked about enough because people are all about the rules. Call of Duty double tap, and I heard somebody else say, "I'm pretty sure they invented double tap for this movie." I'm like, I've been saying double tap since Call of Duty.
Double tap is always it. Like when they're training you in pistol shooting, it's always 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. You double tap the chest, and then you take 1 to the head.
I just thought it was funny that people thought it was invented here. I'm like, no, stop it. But so the comedy gets talked about a lot, with like we were talking about the odd couple and the banter, the rules is kind of its own thing. But the effects and the action in this are also top notch. Like some of that zombie makeup that they laid on 408, right? Amber Heard was 408 or 406. I don't remember.
406.
She was apartment 406 because he didn't know her well enough to know her name. He just knew
she didn't know his name.
She didn't know his name.
It was 190 was his room, and she was apartment 406 or dorm room 406.
So I watched some of the behind the scenes of that, and them like laying the makeup on was like hours ordeal to just get her into makeup, and then we see what they do with some of the CGI effects in some of the zombie splatter that happens not only in the opening but during the course of the movie, like the piano drop. We get the fat guy that gets run down on the football field because he didn't have his cardio. He gets a good neck gush, which is disgusting. Lots of good stuff. And I feel like those
the
sequences
makeup
don't get any love.
went above and beyond, bringing in true professional special effects makeup people who do fantastic jobs every time they're on set. I would highly recommend, if you're going to do anything with blood, you have a special effects makeup person and don't just rely it on your prop guy. Prop guys do a great job. I'm not dissing them, but special effects makeup brings in a whole nother level to it.
Yeah, it sure does. And I think this movie was a great example of blending the two approaches with the practical and with the computer assist. You know, you can do a lot of really cool stuff with the computer assist, especially when it might be dangerous, you know, some of the stunts, I'm sure.
But make sure you mix in the
CGI,
practical.
Right, but you got to balance it with the practical. And, you know, and I'm glad, I was just thinking stunts in the back of my head while we were talking to the CG. Like, there's nothing more fun in a zombie movie, people not being afraid to run out of ammo. Like the cliche of running out of ammo, I'm over that. I don't even like that in my games anymore for these kind of games. Like, no, I just want to shoot shit. I just want to open fire.
So they did not care about worrying about bullets at all.
0 Fs to give.
Yeah, the only thing they cared about was like going dry, going Winchester.
Right. I liked, and that was a plot point when the girls ran out of ammo on the Tower of Terror ride. You know what I mean? Like, they had to do that. But I mean, we got Woody Harrelson rolling into the amusement park at the end, swinging the Escalade into like a J turn and like 360-degree Uzi spray. And that's it. Headshots don't matter. You just have to do damage, right? So you just got to land a bullet and they go down. Okay, simple. Works for me. Because I love the visual of the Cadillac just spinning, guns them down, and he just drives over a couple, which is fun. You know, so I love that kind of stunt. The other one too, where Woody's hanging on the swing and just swinging around, like going with the MP5, just in a circle, gunning them. A lot of fun. He looks like he's cackling it up too. Tell me that wasn't the most fun that dude ever had in a movie, riding a roller coaster and shotgunning zombies.
Yeah. It's
I'm down.
It's funny to find out the best thing you're good at took the zombie apocalypse to happen.
Yeah, you say, but Mom always said, boy, you got to find what you're good at. I think that was the setup there. Yeah, the action's good, the effects are good. And again, like when we were talking yesterday about Conjuring, and we were talking about, you know, it's got its standard scares and it's a ghost story, but what elevated The Conjuring was the Warren family, the human stuff. And I felt like this movie walked right up to the line of just as much melodrama or human stuff that I wanted in this movie to balance action, gore, and comedy. Because not only do we get Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg and The Odd Couple, we get Little Rock and Emma Stone, whose city name I can't remember. Wichita, thank you. They're real life sisters in the movie. They're also just going coast to coast, trying to survive. They're trying to get to Pacific Palisades amusement park or whatever. But they scam Pacific Playland, thank you. They scam the guys out of their car and guns like 3 times to keep going west, which is kind of funny. But the crux of the movie is Jesse Eisenberg deciding he's in love with Wichita and like he's gonna actually go chase her instead of just fucking off and doing whatever he wants. So there's enough found family within that group to really nail home people to root for.
And that was the underline of this whole movie, was the found family, because he always mentioned that, like how he was a loner, he was always by himself, even his family wasn't really close, but he was going to go check on them, and they find out that, you know, Columbus, Ohio is pretty much gone, as it should be. Columbus, Ohio should be the first place. That's probably where Patient Zero happened, when he ate that bad burger at a gas station, where Mad Cow became Mad Human, that became Zombie.
It's our version of a provincial wet market. Let's just say it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, there's a reason why their football stadium there is shaped like a horseshoe, because it's the toilet bowl. I'm just saying. It's
we do have viewers in Ohio. We do love you. Anyway, it is the found family bit. I think it hits home in 2 different places too. And he's all right. Rise. You get the reveal that at one point Woody Harrelson wasn't referring to his puppy that he had to leave behind, that he lost, his best boy Buck. And then Eisenberg,
he had my laugh.
And it's like, my laugh. And that's when I realized Tallahassee wasn't talking about a dog. And the best part of that is Eisenberg always sounds like Kevin from the Wonder Years in these voiceovers. So you're getting that constant narration for his internal monologue. And I thought that was fun. But Woody Harrelson, dude, when he wants to turn on the tears, and we get that flashback where he wasn't really washing the dog in the tub and feeding the dog and hugging the dog. It was literally a toddler, and you're like, oh, okay.
And then you see the duct tape wallet he made, and it has the picture.
And
that's how he did some back in. He was like, there were pictures in someone's wallet too.
Yep, dude. nailed the line, but it also lends, but it never undermines or it never makes things obvious. Like just because he got him to go, just because Eisenberg got Woody Harrelson's character to come with him to help, because that's a great scene when he's watching Eisenberg go pursue Wichita and he makes it about 5 feet on the motorcycle and then dumps it in the bushes.
Yep. It was right after he delivered that line, which was perfect.
Right.
He's about to have a really like badass go off. He's like,
dude, it's a low speed crash into bushes. It's the funniest shit ever. And then, but you're always wondering in the back of your head though, because they get to this when they get to the amusement park. Woody Harrelson draws zombies away with an air horn. He's like, "Go get your girl. I got this." But he's doing his thing. He's having the stunts. But then he shuts himself in like a kiosk with like the sliding cage, security grades, and he gets swarmed. And you're like, "Oh, dude, this dude was planning to die. He was planning to go out shooting, and like he's not going to make it." And nah, he made it. He got them all. Piles of zombie bodies. No fucks given about ammo, dude. None. I loved it.
I loved his reload too, because he had handguns. He was there, and then he just dropped it, and he had him set up where he just slammed it down, and no cocking the gun. So forget that. But
hold on, we're gonna talk about infinite ammo in a minute, because when you were just talking about the reloads, I'm like, Woody Harrelson forgot he was in Zombieland and thought he was in Equilibrium, because he's busting out the gun kata and just reloading shit without cocking jack wad and just shooting blind.
Yeah,
like it's every Devil May Cry game. I was waiting for the air combo. Like I thought he was gonna uppercut one and just start shooting at the air and then drop kick it. But it was too much. Gunplay in movies is fun. I'm sorry, it just is. It just is. But the infinite ammo, because we need to talk about this. It's not just Woody. It's Wichita. Because when they're running from the zombies to get on the Tower of Terror, that girl turns that shotgun and fires it 17 times. Now, maybe she's reloading on the run in a cut. I don't know. I don't think so. I just think they were like, nope,
in the gray spaces.
We're just shooting.
In the gray spaces.
We're just shooting. We're just shooting. I caught one good frame too. If I can snag the video clip, I'll get it. When they're getting on the Tower of Terror and they're going up, right? She's kind of shooting the last three to keep him at bay. She stops shooting, and there's a zombie completely not in the direction she was looking at that reacts as though it was fired at. Something like that. That guy was obviously directed to take a fall, but there was no, like, she never angled at him at all. It's just kind of funny. If I can find the freeze frame. But yeah, the infinite ammo gag, cool. This ain't, see, in Dawn of the Dead, that annoys me because they want to play that serious. 28 Days Later, that would annoy me. They want to play that serious. This was just about shooting shit.
Yeah. It was about having fun and not really worrying about rules other than the rules.
And the best rule, right?
Rule 37.
Love that. Which one was that?
Enjoy the small stuff.
That wasn't my favorite rule, but that's the most important rule. The big rule, because it's a through line, it's a bookend. I'm going to mention it. He says early on, I think it's rule 18. Rule 18 is don't be a hero. And then of course he sees Wichita endangered. They flash the graphic. Rule 18, don't be a hero. It shatters, don't, and so it just says be a hero. And then he engages hero mode and says, "Fuck that clown." That was awesome. This fucking guy.
No, he's like, there's one thing I'm scared of more than zombies, and it's clowns.
Just clowns in the bathroom, dude. It was like Pennywise up in that bitch.
But then he turned around at that. He's like, "Who's this fucking clown?" And it's a clown.
It's an effing clown.
Big, beefy clown, too.
But he handled business, dude. He gave him the running slide, uppercut with the circus mallet, and fucking brained him, dude. Like Cartman in the World of Warcraft episode of South Park. It was solid. But, and then la-di-da, happy ending. Everybody decides to stay together because it was really about the family we found along the way.
Yeah.
And I like that message. I don't care. It'd be a little cheesy. It works for me in this movie because they earned it. They earned it. They made you care.
Because it's a comedy. People don't have to take it that seriously either. Like, you don't need someone to break it down like it's The Piano or War and Peace, the movie. It's a comedy. Have fun with it. Yeah, it has a simple moral of like found family sometimes better than real family. The family you choose over the family that you're with, even though family you're with is very important as well. But I'm just saying that's what they're saying in this movie. But it's overall just supposed to be fun. Zombie killing fun. Because they had the even thing, Zombie Killer of the Week.
Oh, dude, that was the best. That was the best. And dude, I must have been on some weird trip back in the day seeing this, because I swear they had like 8 of those. And maybe I'm just remembering the deaths from the opening montage as being like zombie kills for some reason.
And there was only like 2 zombie kills in that whole opening montage.
Yeah, there was the bride. There was was there only 2? Because I remember the guy in the white tuxedo shooting the AK, but he didn't die.
No, because he was shooting somebody off screen.
Off screen, screen. Yeah. I think I missed the early part of the movie where Eisenberg's explaining the rules too. The lady gets bit on the leg because she didn't double tap. So yeah, you're right. During that whole montage, it might have just been the bride. The fat guy was the cardio rule, so he wasn't in the beginning. That was after that.
No,
the movie.
No, there was a lot of zombie killing humans, but there wasn't a lot of zombie kills where people were
killing
zombies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that I thought there were more of those, and maybe I'm just remembering maybe part 2 had more of those. Like maybe they brought back the gag and had a couple. The double gag. But the lady dropping the piano was too funny because she just looks all smug with herself and she pulls the chain and fucking splat. Yeah, it was fun. The Zombieland was fun, dude. Zombieland was fun. I'm glad we put it on that list. I hope you guys enjoy talking Zombieland or having listened to us talk about Zombieland. Let us know in the comments though if you guys would like us to take a future look at maybe Zombieland 2. I don't have particularly fond memories of it. I think it was a little too late because it was like 10 years later. Took a little long time to get there.
And it was also like trying to rehash some of the other stories and stuff like that.
They tried to recapture the lightning, the magic in a bottle. Yeah. But we'll take a look at that. But why don't we get out of here? Because we have other Zombie Month movies to do.
Yes, we do.
See ya.